What has happened, everybody? James Hancock here, back to do a reaction video to the latest trailer for James Gunn's Superman, coming our way on July 11th. I will admit I'm very fired up for this movie. I saw that first trailer many times over, and I very rarely get excited by a trailer where I want to watch it, dozens of times. But for whatever reason, that interpretation was really doing it for me. But I fully recognize that there are a lot of people out there who just hate James Gunn or hate James Gunn's interpretation of DC, but the Suicide Squad really did it for me. I saw it 3 times in its opening weekend, and I know Superman and the Suicide Squad, that they're very different beasts, but there's something about his really nerdy kind of inside take on DC that's very informed by the 1980s that just speaks to me. On the other hand, I've been really annoyed by basically all the marketing and all the information related to James Gunn and DC since the release of that trailer. What's really got me annoyed is the trailer to season 2 of Peacemaker, where it seems like if you're James Gunn's brother, or if you're James Gunn's wife, or if you're one of James Gunn's close friends, well then those elements of the previous DC universe that we've been watching over the last 12 years, those have survived. And I know they can explain things with multiverses or little reality bubbles or whatever the case might be. I'm sure we're all thrilled to see yet another show or another concept involving the multiverse. But it just seems weird that everybody would get fired unless you are close to James Gunn. I just feel like that was very poor form. So I think he's got some ground to make up. But if this trailer's amazing, and if the movie's amazing, I think most people will forgive him for all of his, past slights, whether they're real or imagined. So on that note, let's just go ahead and see what this trailer has to offer in 3, 2, 1. I like that they brought back the old school logo.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
There are times where I miss Christopher
Miss
Reeve.
Lane.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for what some
it's
might.
A lot of fire,
it's a lot.
I hate that collar. It's awful looking.
Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny.
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not.
Yeah, the
one
suit's
being
not doing it
interviewed,
for me for
Superman.
whatever reason.
Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States
representing
will
anybody
cause more
except for me.
problems around the world.
And doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die.
Come on,
Hey,
give me something to be excited about. Digging crypto.
Your choices,
Digging my twin brother.
your actions.
Yeah. More Superman saving people.
That's what makes you who you are.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's
I
conversation.
could feel myself tense, hoping to see more that I like.
Not. Accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
Well, that's kind of cool. Bring more Guy Gardner.
You have a dog?
What's up, Crypto? Alrighty. Let me digest it for a second before offering any commentary. All right, I'm not going to lie. I like the first trailer a lot more than that second trailer. Throughout that entire trailer, I could feel my hands kind of tensing up as I was hoping for and waiting for something that would just absolutely blow my mind, give me chills, give me goosebumps, that whole deal. And it never came. And there are little moments that I'm still excited about. I'm excited to see Guy Gardner. I'm excited to see Superman fighting a kaiju. I'm excited to see Superman saving people. But there are a few ingredients that are not quite working for me. And the fact that like everybody just seems to be giving Superman shit the whole time, that like opening up the trailer with Lois Lane kind of getting in his face, it just set a very strange adversarial tone. And I hope that doesn't reflect the tone of the movie overall, because in the end, what people want from a great Superman movie is hope and excitement and spectacle. Basically, the kind of emotion that Christopher Reeve, for whatever reason, he was just born to play Superman. And I feel like, so much could have gone wrong with the Superman the movie in the 1970s, but somehow, just like a bolt of lightning, they found Christopher Reeve, and he was just destined to play that character. And even though the suit back in the 70s, it's funny, that suit from the 70s, it almost looks like something you could buy like off the rack at a drugstore these days. But I still like it more than this new suit. My understanding is that the insignia that they're using and the new suit they're using, that is copyrighted by Warner Brothers in DC, whereas the old insignia and the old suit, which obviously has had various iterations over the years. Like if you look at Action Comics #1 from the late 30s, Superman's suit was quite different. But the apparently the rights to Superman basically are going to be like fair game for anybody who wants to write a Superman comic, make a Superman movie or whatever. So DC wanted to copyright a very specific look. I hate the costume. The suit's too baggy. The collar looks weird. The insignia looks weird. They should have just said, fuck it. Let's use just the most iconic, like just classic version of the Superman suit that we can possibly put together. And there's something about, is it David Cornsweet? I always forget how to pronounce his name. Hang on. Superman 2025. There's something about David Cornsweet's interpretation of the character, at least so far, when he opens his mouth, it's not quite working for me. And once again, I pray that I'm wrong. I hope that he's going to absolutely blow our minds. But when I see the poster, there's something about his face. It's a little bit too self-satisfied. There's a smirk to it, or a kind of an ironic kind of snarkiness to it, whereas I feel like Superman should be as all-American as apple pie. And I remember going to see a restored version of the movie from the 70s at the Egyptian Theater in LA, like early 2000s. And when it got to the point where Christopher Reeves told Lois Lane, well, basically, Lois, I believe in truth, justice, and the American way. And this is, once again, LA, cynical, etc. The entire theater, on their feet, erupted with applause, cheering, screaming, etc. People do want to have something to believe in, and I feel like when it comes to superheroes, there's no better icon to believe in than Superman. And I just really hope that James Gunn will find a way to allow the audience to get there, where no matter what trials and tribulations he puts the character through over the course of the movie, that at a certain point, everybody's going to be on his side, and people will just be crying and cheering and feeling all those heartwarming emotions that they crave when they go see a Superman movie. But just to end this on a positive note, perhaps some of the other characters will help kind of elevate the material. Like if he can nail Metamorpho and Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl and Lex Luthor and Lois, once again, it's an ensemble piece. It's not just Superman's burden to carry alone. And what made the original Superman so great back in the day is you had all these incredible actors in there, like fucking Gene Hackman and Ned Beatty, and people just absolutely love and adore those characters nearly 50 years later. Man, when I first saw that first trailer a few months ago, I was like, slam dunk, billion-dollar movie, gonna dominate the summer. Now, I'm very skeptical. I think this trailer is gonna alienate quite a few people. I'm gonna cut my projections in half. And that's harsh to say, but just tonally, something feels very wrong. I'm starting to get just negative vibrations from this whole thing. And if I'm wrong, and if I'm dead wrong, nobody will be happier than myself, because what I want is an extraordinary Superman experience. And I do think James Gunn has the chops to deliver it. I do think he has the talent to deliver it. The question is, did he? We will find out in a few short weeks. It's still probably my most anticipated movie of the summer. There's a big auteur-driven spectacle. I feel like the big blockbusters like Jurassic Park and things like that, the director tends to kind of fade into the background and be a bit of a non-entity. this is one of the few blockbusters this summer where the director is front and center. It's like, this is James Gunn's Superman, but then he's going to live or die on the strengths and weaknesses of his production. I feel like if Jurassic World 50 fails, well, then no one's going to know like who was responsible or what are some of the other big blockbusters. I guess with Mission Impossible, people know a little bit about Christopher McQuarrie, but I feel like some blockbusters, the director just happens to be anonymous, and so they don't suffer the fallout when the movie fails. James Gunn is going to take a huge blow on the chin if this movie does not do well, and it will basically, like the entire DC, I guess, ambitions for Warner Brothers moving forward will kind of crumble because they've allowed James Gunn to be the architect of DC over the last few years, and I've been rooting for him. But this trailer is the first warning sign that something might go wrong. And maybe I'm just feeling that way because the Season 2 Peacemaker trailer also gave me the heebie-jeebies, yesterday or the day before? And so now I'm in wait-and-see mode moving forward. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Talk me off the cliff. Talk me off the ledge. Am I just being a totally hostile, just kind of paranoid asshole by assuming the worst? Or am I onto something? I eagerly await everybody's reactions, but I look forward to reviewing it in July and having a proper Marvel versus DC debate. I guess the big question is going to be, which movie will be better, Fantastic Four First Steps or Superman? With that question or debate, I still think that Superman is going to prevail, but that's another subject for another day when it comes to my cynicism related to Marvel. But I've got a bolt. I'm meeting my mother, my sister, my niece for lunch. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, but more importantly, as always, onwards and upwards.